right. So ETH all-time high just a few hours after Bitcoin reached a new all-time high of that 67,276 thanks to a big day trading for the first ever Bitcoin futures ETF. Ethereum set its own record for some exchanges, surpassing the May 12th mark of 43.57. However, it just matched its record of 43.80 on Bitstamp before seeing a harsh rejection. Let's see, Joe, come to you on this one. Is the ETH pump a month after Bitcoin narrative over?
Well, I think what's important to understand is how connected ETH and just all of these cryptocurrencies are. And the reason why is because they're all paired with each other. So I still think that we're going to have a Bitcoin goes up and then the altcoins are going to follow. Will it be exactly a month? Things typically tend to rhyme, right? They don't maybe do it exactly like we've been seeing, but I definitely do think that Bitcoin went up. And then what happened? I think a little bit later, I think it was only a day or two, Ethereum followed it, or it was very close. And so the reason why this is happening is because Bitcoin and Ethereum are paired against each other on a lot of these exchanges. And so when Bitcoin goes up, typically then Ethereum is also going to be rising, and same happens with the cryptocurrencies. And so it's important to pay attention to what it's doing, because if that starts to move, right, it hits all-time highs. I think that all-time highs are around the corner for not Ethereum, but for a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, like Solana yesterday, and a lot pointed out on Market Watching, starting to move and start making their all-time highs, right? We know about a month ago, and they all kind of have their own seasons, right? So it's important to know that we are starting to decorrelate a little bit, but that being said, there still is this Bitcoin goes to all-time highs, and then we are starting to see this altcoin season. And I think that we're in for an epic one coming in the next few months. But again, not financial advice. Who knows what will happen, but it's definitely exciting times here. And ETH hitting all-time highs there, even if for the briefest of moments, is definitely a very positive sign for cryptocurrency at this time.
Absolutely. I like that. All right. So last August, during our DeFi summer, there was about 5 billion TVL, which stands for total value locked. Now that seems paltry compared to the 100 billion that's currently there. Let's see. Rice, I'm going to ask you this one. For the retail investor looking for the next big thing, what's the next Ethereum, in your opinion?
I mean, that's a good question, because we have a lot of different platforms out here trying to compete against Ethereum. I mean, I'm a big fan of what Charles Hoskinson is doing with Cardano, and I'm also a big fan of what Polkadot is doing. I'm definitely, even though the gains are there, I am not a fan of Solana. I don't like the centralization. I feel like the node requirements and everything just make it too centralized, and that would put Binance Smart Chain in the same situation. It's centralized as well. When you're dealing with that blockchain trilemma of having decentralization, scalability, and security, those are the three right ones, right?
Correct. I believe so.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the issue, is that you're having to give up one of those in order to maintain. That's what the trilemma has been all about. But the other thing that all this shows me with Ethereum and the rest of the cryptocurrencies is really kind of like what Joe was saying, is how connected everything is to Bitcoin still. Bitcoin is still the leader. It is definitely leading the pack. And technically, I don't even really think Ethereum actually hit all-time highs. I think it was like $11 off from actually hitting the all-time high, or maybe it hit on some exchange for like 30 seconds. It was, but ultimately, what I like about all-time highs is this concept of NGU, number go up. The number go up, and people start realizing, and people stay for the freedom. And it's opening that freedom aspect up, which is the sovereignty aspect of what Bitcoin and decentralized cryptocurrencies were created for in the first place. So number go up, stay for the freedom, whether it's Ethereum hitting all-time highs. But to come back to what you were saying about the platforms competing against Ethereum, the ones that right now are working with solutions that interact with Ethereum, such as Polkadot is doing, that's where you're going to see a lot more success. Because obviously, as I've talked about in the past with the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, Ethereum itself and what it's doing is too big to fail. So regardless of what these other platforms are doing, Ethereum is always going to be the main platform for a decentralized web, for dApps, for a world computer system, in my opinion. There, my two Satoshis again, just taking CB's line.
Yeah, man, you better stop taking my line, bro.
Twice I did.
Problem. We're gonna have a problem.
Just really quick,
I'm coming
Rice,
to Detroit.
You did say decentralization, security, and scalability as the trilemma, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those. I did a quick fact check.
Yeah, I want to make sure
That was it.
scalability was in it. I knew security and decentralization, but I wasn't 100% if it was scalability. I was just making sure I had it correct. I didn't want to give misinformation.
Excellent. Well, great job there, buddy. Blood, this next question is going to come to you. So now Ethereum had temporarily flipped the market cap for JP Morgan and Visa on Thursday. If you're talking to somebody that has to get into crypto, or that they're getting into crypto and they have to get into a major cap, would you recommend Ethereum as a solid buy, or would you steer them somewhere else?
No, definitely Ethereum, solid buy. I think they still have an issue with trying to go from proof of stake to proof of work to proof of stake. That's my only concern. I just want to see how that pans out with Ethereum 2.0. But, eventually they will. But I believe because they're slow with that process, you're going to see other competitors come in there and take and kind of shorten the gap, right, between Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those two are kind of leading the pack big time when you talk about market cap. So there will be some others that you'll see even bigger returns if you do your own research and due diligence. So, but yeah, if I'm picking Ethereum over JP Morgan, yes, absolutely, all day. That's my 2 Satoshis. Holla.
Got him.
Holla.
Got him. All right. Let's see. Stash, I'm going to bring this last question to you. So this is a make it or break it moment for you. So we'll see how your answer goes.
About to crush it.
Well, let's see. So there's a lot of people, and especially, again, some of these questions are geared towards newer people because, like we were saying earlier, Joe was saying earlier, we're seeing a lot of new subscribers. We're seeing a lot of activity, especially with all the excitement that happened with all-time high in Bitcoin, and we know that the markets are just ready to roll. So people wonder why you're seeing different prices on different exchanges, with the arbitrage and all that stuff. Can you explain how something like that is even possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think new people coming in is good. I actually, that was one of the things I really focused on when I first started in cryptocurrency content creation was new people, running classes in person in my city. So I understand like some of these things to us seem like, oh yeah, why, of course that makes sense. What is liquidity? People like the word liquidity, most people probably had not even really, understood or heard if they haven't been in some sort of financial, industry, before getting into crypto. But what it comes down to is, with the difference of price across different exchanges, I mean, it really comes down to the people trading there too. These exchanges all hold their own order books, which is basically where people are putting buys and sells, right, for that particular currency, and that is what's driving that price. Now, because of arbitrage, which is taking money from one place and then using the price difference. So if Bitcoin is, 60,000 on this one exchange and it's 61,000 over here, you have that opportunity to move money around to try and take advantage of the arbitrage of that situation. That's why prices are never going to be too far off, so they're never going to be like thousands and thousands of dollars difference from one exchange to another, because if they were, everyone's going to be porting over there and trying to make that arbitrage money off of that. So the prices are always going to be fairly close. But yeah, I mean, that's really why you see them different on different exchanges, why there's different all-time highs based upon different exchanges. A lot of times we'll go off, whatever exchange had the highest all-time high as setting it, but then it depends on where you're looking too. So if you're looking on CoinMarketCap versus CoinGecko or another site, it may have different data. So the data come from all these different exchanges, just depends on the people trading there.
Excellent. Well,
I mean, if you really want some, if you really want some cheap Bitcoin, just go to Binance.us and wait for that flash.
Wait for that flash crash, man.
That's what I'm curious about. Was anybody able to get in on that?